Baby, donde tú quieras, yo paso a buscarte. Tú espérame afuera, pa' si no llamarte. No traigas paraguas como quiera, va a mojarte.
Welcome back to Max Reaction. How are you doing today? Hopefully you're doing good. I am. Anyway, we're going to react to Casually Explained travel. And who doesn't like to travel? Most of us love to travel. I know I like to travel. I especially like to travel to other countries, like the Philippines. You see the flag. I just like experiencing new cultures, discovering new things, and just seeing how other people live. It's just so amazing what this world has to offer if you travel. So let's check out Casually Explained. Let's see what he has to talk about it. Let's see if we agree, disagree, what we can learn, and we'll talk about it afterwards down in the comment section down below. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's do this now.
Are vegans healthy?
After this ad.
Healthy. French fries and beer are vegan.
Many people who spend time abroad or travel to see parts of the world they haven't seen before almost universally say that their travel experience shaped them into the more mature and cultured person that they are today. In my personal experience, I went to live and study in France for 5 months after high school, and when I came back, everyone said, "Wow, you really have changed. It's like you're so much more social and confident."
Changes us.
But the truth was that for the first time ever, I actually just had something to talk about. Nevertheless, while there can be a bit of a scary learning curve, getting out of your own country to see somewhere new is almost always going to be worth the struggle. And if you're a first-time traveler who's a little nervous, remember that one of the advantages that we have going for us is speaking English natively, which is massively underrated, because English is the only language that is always spoken in airports and in almost all tourist destinations.
Right.
In contrast, think about it like this. If you're from Italy and only speak Italian, can't really leave. If you're from Japan and only speak Japanese, can't really leave. This is why a lot of European countries like Germany have their kids learn English from a very young age. Regardless, some people will still say, well, if you're visiting Germany, you should still try to learn some German out of courtesy. And while I see their point, that certainly didn't work out so well for Anne Frank. So once you've decided that you're going to travel somewhere, you have to figure out where to go based on who and what you want to do. And there's really 3 types of trips you can go on, which are long-term cultural experiences, where you live in a foreign country and start to assimilate into life as a local.
Haven't done that yet.
Short-term tourism, where you go see the sights and do the neat things they have that you don't have. And there's the third type of trip, which is capitalizing on the living wage of developing countries to get wasted on the beach at a low price. So once you booked your trip, made it to the airport, and whoever gave you a ride has asked if you have your passport 15 times, all that stands in your way is the airport security.
Absolutely do.
Well, it sounded a little terroristy. What I mean to say is that in the United States, going through airport security is the worst. You have to take off your shoes, separate your phone from your laptop, separate your toiletries from your clothes, your liquids from your aerosols, even your books need to be separated from your bag. And all
I love what he has in the boxes.
The thing is, when I'm at home, I don't even sort my laundry, so you can imagine I was pretty confused the first few times, but at least I learned what they mean by separate your colors from your whites.
Just strip naked.
This is all bearable for everyone, though, because really you're just hoping you don't get thrown in Guantanamo for the 110 mils of sunscreen you're smuggling.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
If you go through Europe, there's a 60-second line for a handsome Dutchman who will stamp your passport with his ex-girlfriend's phone number, then offer you a stroopwafel as he compliments your Barrett 50 cal.
What happened to you, bud?
Might have been exaggerating there a little bit.
Or it happened.
Handsome. One of the biggest fears of new travelers is missing their flight, and while that's nearly impossible because they're always delayed, even if you do miss your flight, most airlines are happy to put you on the next flight available. And you might be saying, wait, what if the next flight is already overbooked and has no space? And not to worry, because they all already are. And that might make you think, wait, if that's the case, how can I be assured that the airline won't forcefully kick me off a flight that I rightfully bought a ticket for if there's not enough seats?
That happens.
So once you've made it onto the plane and are about to zoom away into the sky, if you're anything like me, one of the first things you'll notice is the women in uniform. I'm not exactly sure why I'm into that. I think because I'm really turned on by employability. Like they say, you want what you can't have.
Sure, buddy.
So every time
That's
I'm
the
on a
reason.
flight and an attractive flight attendant asks if I'd like anything from the menu, I say, oh no, I'm fine, thanks. And then I imagine us traveling the world together. Well, I don't expect to ever join the Mile High Club or how that would even happen. Let's just say I do always sit in the aisle. And the thing I've been thinking too is that I'm pretty sure you're not even allowed to hook up with someone on a commercial aircraft, especially staff. But I was thinking there's always a chance that like the wings would fall off the plane and we're all going to die anyway, so then why wouldn't you? Even if we survive and there's an officer to arrest me when we land, what you going to do? Put me in handcuffs?
What if you
So
don't
once you
die?
get to where you're going, especially if you haven't traveled internationally before, the first thing you're going to do is realize you've massively underestimated what the whole thing is going to cost. Even if you thought you were going to get a cheap Airbnb and live like a local, suavely haggling the local markets with level 5
Right.
Duolingo, the truth is, the moment you walk into the streets and hear a
target.
foreign language, fight or flight will kick in and take you straight to the McDonald's touchscreens. Even if you're going somewhere cheap like Mexico, you're going to get overcharged at local markets and not know where to
Targeted.
shop, to the point that by the time you're ready to leave, you'll be as poor as the people who live there. And in my opinion, at the end of the day, what you'll really bring back from any trip is a perspective on how other people live throughout the world. I actually
Absolutely.
had an eye-opening experience when I stopped in Northern Africa for a day, where you can meet people whose entire family of 15 sleeps in the same room as them, they eat porridge out of fired mud bowls, and they have no clean water or electricity. I had the chance to talk to
Eye-opening.
one lady who said that she made $1.75 a day spinning textiles, and her husband made $2 a day farming. And as a person coming from a much
Wow.
more privileged place, this obviously made me feel incredibly guilty for what I had. So of
Yes.
course I reached into my wallet, took out 25 cents, and handed it to the lady in order to close the wage gap. So as a little personal
Her
story
quarter.
I thought you guys might like, my most recent travel experience was going to VidCon in Anaheim, California a few months ago. And right from the start, when I got on my first flight, the pilot announced, "I'm very sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but
No.
a piece of the aircraft has fallen off. We're going to have to call our technician to see if we can reattach the piece for liftoff."
No!
And I was sitting there thinking, all right, well, it's Air Canada, that makes sense.
Sounds
The most
terrible.
unsettling part of the whole experience was that the pilot was also so nonchalant about it, as if every second flight a piece of the aircraft is falling off and he doesn't even care because he's
Happens
just
all
waiting
the
to die.
time.
And you know, can't blame him really, but at any rate, the pilot said the technician lived 15 minutes away, so he'll be a bit. So an hour later, when the guy
I'd have
gets
to
there,
get
the
off.
pilot goes over the intercom again and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, the technician is currently working on the aircraft. I'll be sure to keep you updated, and we do apologize for the delay."
Time
The
frame?
part that weirded me out was he was kind of laughing to himself the whole time, and I was getting nervous because it was kind of like a sideshow Bob, "you're all going down with me" type of thing.
Yeah,
It
driving
turned
your
out, in
plane.
fact, he was laughing because
flying
the
it.
mechanic forgot to bring any tools, so he was trying to reattach a 20,000 horsepower turbine with fucking Scotch double-sided.
That fell
In the
off?
end, it all worked out well because we got put on a flight 5 hours later, and I received not only an expired granola bar, but a
Awesome.
$5 Tim Hortons voucher that I could use on any purchase $10 and over. At the very least, I'm happy
you
to
gotta
say the
spend
next
money.
plane didn't fall apart and crash us into the fiery pits of hell. We actually landed there quite smoothly.
That's awesome. To a burning California. 'Cause a few months ago, California was burning. Thankfully, they've stopped all that. But anyway, I'd have been terrified. If I'm on a plane and they're telling me a part fell off and we're going to put it back on, well, I'm going to say, well, just put me right off the plane. I'm not going to fly in planes where parts are flying off. But maybe I have, who knows? They just haven't told us. But in all, traveling the world, traveling to a different country, yeah, some things are going to be a struggle, but the struggle is worth it. To learn about the new culture, the way people live, you'll see things that you didn't even know existed. It's amazing. It's so amazing. Like my trip to the Philippines, I've learned so much from the Filipino people, and of course learned a lot from my wife because she's from the Philippines. But it's just amazing. It's eye-opening, and I think everybody should travel. Everybody should travel. And I had a fear of getting on airplanes. I told myself a long time ago, I'm never going on an airplane. I don't like heights. I think it would be like trapped in an airplane and you're afraid of heights. That's just terrifying. But I got over my fear. I was nervous. I ain't gonna lie, I was super nervous. I still get a little nervous flying. I think I've flown, I don't know, like 18 times now. And my first flight was like 3 years ago. So, and I still get nervous, but there's no really reason to get nervous because what happens, happens in life. Just enjoy your life, go travel, see the world, experience the things he experiences, and take some of his advice to heart, because some of it was funny, some of it is advice you can really take. And that's what I like about Casually Explained. He casually explains this. He throws jokes in there. I love Casually Explained's humor, so go check the channel out. He has amazing content, and you'll be happy that you checked his content out. I'll leave a link to this video down below. Make sure you go watch it, and make sure you watch his other videos. But do you have any thoughts on traveling? Have you traveled? Have you flown? Do you have a story? I'd love to hear all that in the comment section. So if you got the time, I appreciate your time to leave a comment down below. I'll read your story. I love reading them. I may or may not respond, but I will read it. And you'll probably get a heart too, so you'll know I read it. But anyway, if you want to join the Max Reaction family, that would be cool as well. Hit that subscribe button. Become a part of Max Reaction. If you have social media like Twitter or Instagram, I got the links to mine down below. Come join me. I'd appreciate it. But for now, don't forget to spread that peace, that love, that happiness wherever you go, especially on your travels. And I'll see you guys next time.
Baby, donde tú quieras, yo paso a buscarte. Tú espérame afuera, pa' si no llamarte. No traigas paraguas como quiera, vamos.